Cayman Islands architect Burns Conolly has left an indelible imprint on all who knew him, professionally and personally.
I personally will miss him greatly. And I know that, my voice is echoed by, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other people.
Among his architectural achievements in the Cayman Islands, Burns was instrumental in the early days of Camana Bay, DART's flagship development.
I was lucky enough to work with him through the master planning and design of Camana Bay. He provided an invaluable insight into the Cayman architectural vernacular.
He was very much influencing these world-class architects with what is Cayman and what is Caribbean architecture, and he really did a fantastic job at guiding those consultants who hadn't necessarily worked in the region or who certainly hadn't worked in Cayman before they came to Camana Bay.
All who worked with him agree Camana Bay would not be what it is today without Burns.
There are elements all around Camana Bay where we can feel the fingerprints of Burns Conolly, from the architecture to the landscaping, to the courtyards and the fountains, and the laughter and joy that we can feel around Camana Bay. As we walk there today, a lot of that is due to Burns Conolly, and for that, we are grateful.
This video you're looking at captured the collaboration between leaders in the Cayman Islands community and the Camana Bay development team back in the early 2000s. At the center of it all was Burns.
Most Caymanians had never seen a project of this scale. It was showing a place that could hold the same amount of people as our entire population was in 1970.
Definitely Burns was absolutely in the middle of all of that, with the principles at MRY and Olin, and then later through the process as it evolved from master planning and conceptual into the actual production design at Spillis Candela. And the fact that Burns had those pre-existing, connections, I think probably that did count for a lot.
Part of the influence of the guiding forces behind, breezes through buildings, natural ventilation, how we can kind of orientate buildings correctly so that they're appropriate for hurricanes, appropriate for prevailing breezes out the northeast.
And Camana Bay is a new development, so the colors he recommended both made it feel authentically Caribbean of the place and also really brought those buildings to life. And it's in those spaces as we walk around Camana Bay that we can feel his impact.
Burns was the first architect in the Cayman Islands to be registered with the American Institute of Architects and set up his firm, the Burns Conolly Group, in 1993. Described as being an ambassador for Cayman and as a visionary leader by those who knew him. Other prominent positions he held were President of the Cayman Society of Architects, Surveyors and Engineers, and President of the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce. He held both bachelor's and master's degrees in architecture and urban design, and his professional experience spanned beyond Cayman's borders, including having worked in the British Virgin Islands and Saint Martin. Burns also helped advance local development laws, such as the planned area development legislation that incorporates a long-term holistic view on development in Cayman, like Camana Bay.
So that development could be more thoughtful going forward, and that those laws and regulations would allow for some approaches that in the 20th and now 21st century make a lot of sense.
The son of national hero, attorney and politician, the late Warren Conolly, Burns was seen as an expert of all things Cayman, particularly as it related to history and architectural heritage.
A couple of the older buildings on your left is the library building, also hand-built in 1939.
Burns had a close-knit circle. I was very privileged and honored to be a part of that circle. I was even more so honored that he entrusted me to transcribe some tapes, some conversations that he had with his dad.
And while his vast contributions will not be forgotten, with daily reminders found throughout Camana Bay and the wider community, it is Burns' kindness and jovial nature that will always be remembered.
Always cracking a joke, good humour. I think I can count myself lucky to have known him and worked with him so closely.
How, again, generous, and kind and thoughtful a person he was, that he welcomed everybody to the process.
And we had some long master planning days. He was there with his smile, joke, amazing stories, and an absolute pleasure to spend time with.
From jerk stands to, nice restaurants, Burns really showed me a real love and appreciation for local food, for Caymanian food, for good food.
Extremely smart, witty, very funny, wonderful twinkle in his eye, and just had some great laughs. Gone way, way too soon.